smoke. What I tell them? Fuck them. Pull up to they show. What you tell them? Fuck them. Hit them with the folk. What we tell them? Fuck them. They don't want no pride. They don't want no smoke. What I tell them? Fuck them. Pull up to they show. What you tell them? Fuck them. Hit them with the folk. What we tell them? Fuck them. They don't want no pride. You know my motto is fuck them, that's all I gotta say. Scope on the rifle that'll spot you from a mile away. Still getting women drunk off Hennessy and Alizé. Still with the niggas loading hollow tips inside the cave. Still be on that same shit, but I gotta change with multiplying bitches, man. I see me with the same bitch, but you might see me riding 95 North in the black Mitsubishi 195 horse. Power with no sour, couple bottles there, of course. R.I.P. to all my fallen riders in the morgue. Yeah, you know I got the juice, know I got the sauce. And then super fly, pull a fatty in the Porsche. I don't need a molly just to pop her out of drawers. Shorty getting naked cause she know that I'm the ball. Ready for that drama, man, I'm ready for the war. If he talking reckless, he don't really love his jaw. Fuck him to the DA, fuck him to the law. Fuck them cause they got my brother stuck behind them bars. Fuck them to the PD, fuck them to the force. Fuck them to the haters, just where at the end of course. They don't want no smoke, what I tell them? Fuck them. Pull up to their show, what you tell them? Fuck them. Hit them with the foe, what we tell them? Fuck them. They don't want no pride. They don't want no smoke, what I tell them? Fuck them. Pull up to their show, what you tell them? Fuck them. Hit them with the foe, what we tell them? Fuck them. They don't want no pride.
Hey, Salaki, that cover photo you had for your avatar, that was already up there
Hold on.
on your computer?
All right. We in the building. That's right. We in the building. We in the building. Hold on one sec. Let me get her out of there. Let me get her. All right. Slovakia. All right. All right. Testing 1, 2. You can hear me? Say something. Can you say something? Like a rock. All right. I can hear you.
Shalom, Marcus.
Okay. So I got to. All right, tonight's class, right? Tonight's class is an interesting class. The class is why did Jesus came from the hood? Why did he come from the hood? Why are we saying he came from the hood? Why is it important that he came from the hood? I think it's important he's coming from the hood in a lot of aspects, but the Bible speaks clear about why. All right, and it deals with our captivity. It deals with a number of things on how they seen us. You know, I was watching. I watched. What's this boy named? Zion Lex, right? Did you see Zion Lex? Breakdown of the 12 tribe chart. You didn't see it. That John. Hey, listen. Let me tell you something. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I get you.
All right, let me tell you something. Yo, it was crazy. But what I found interesting was he kept talking about how we dumb, how we stupid, we uneducated. He was saying real crazy stuff, man. He really, honestly, man, he sounded like a racist white person talking about black people and just saying we're just all dumb and stupid. And people get that concept, especially Christians. Christians get the concept that you know, we dumb, we stupid, we don't have jobs, we run through women. I mean, it'd be crazy. It'd be crazy.
And they'll never bring no Salaki, if I may, and they'll never bring no hard evidence to show that we're not correct in what we're talking about.
Never. But what we're gonna do is tonight, right? We're gonna actually show that Christ was from the hood, and not only was he from the hood, he was from a part of town where it would be considered the hood today. That's what it would be considered, the hood today. You know what I'm saying? And look, it's so important. I'm gonna tell y'all why it's important too. It's important to really understand where Christ's ministry began. And it's important to look at a map when you're doing it, because when you look at a map, when you're doing it, you get a chance to see why he said certain things. Like, why did he run into a woman of Samaria? Why was he in Samaria when he said, don't go out to the city of the Samaritan? Why was he there? You feel me? Why is, when it says one of the apostles is from the land of Canaan, I mean, Salakia, that he's a Canaanite, Christians say that he's a Hamite. Have you heard that one?
Con, sir.
So this study tonight will help you see that. Now, Apostle Carlos supposed that came on. He supposed that came on because he said that you know, Christ was rich, and you know, he had all this bread, and the wise men came with all his tons and loads of money, loads of gold. And he supposed that came on the night to show us, to tell us and show us. But of course, Apostle Carlos couldn't make it tonight. But he did make it clear that he will be here next week to show us how Christ was rich and had all this money, had all this bread. And he had, like, he was sitting on all these, no, honestly, he was sitting on all these bars of gold. I said that's what Christ was sitting on.
Salakia, if I may.
Go ahead.
I thought the scripture said he coming for the meek and the lowly. You know what I mean? Not the rich.
You know what? He believed a Most High in Christ. You know, he believes in that prosperity teaching.
Mm.
He believes in that. But what we're gonna look at tonight is, look, check this out, guys. Check this out. What we're gonna look at is what Israel received. First of all, what they received as a promise, and look, we're gonna find out what part of Israel went into captivity first. Like, did a big chunk of Israel go into captivity? Like when the northern kingdom went into captivity, did all the northern kingdom go into captivity at once? Or was it in dispersed? Was it in different time periods? You know what I'm saying? And if it was, which one was first? So what we got tonight is, right, we got some maps we're gonna look at. We're gonna look at some maps first. And by we looking at these maps are important because what these maps are going to show you is, number one, it's going to show you our inheritance. Number two, it's going to show you a lot of places, a lot of spots. You need to get your precept book out, because what it does is it's really going to show you exactly what was going on in Christ's ministry and why he said what he said in certain areas, in certain places. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. This is where we're going to go to first. Genesis, go to Genesis 15 and 18. That's what we're going to look at first. Let me get over here. All right. So here we see Genesis 15 and 18. Hold on. It says, you got that, Lagarab?
Khan. It says, in the same day, the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying unto the seed, have I given this land from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates?
Right. So look, if you can see on the map, right, you get a chance to see exactly the massive amount of space that the Lord gave us. Like, think about it. This right here, that's Israel over there, right? But he gave us all of this, what you see, right? He gave, remember, it says from the rivers of Egypt, right, all the way over to the rivers of the Euphrates. So we had all of this, right? That's what we had. Now, like I said, you got brothers saying that the king was rich, right? Look, go to Leviticus 12 and 8. You can see it on the board, right? This right here is something that we look over. It's something that we look over in the scriptures. This is where we're going to start at. We actually going to start where Mary was actually giving birth to the king, giving birth to the Messiah. And when she gave birth to the Messiah, if you look at Luke 2, right down the bottom, Luke 2 and 23, can you read that first?
Khan says, as it is written in the law of the Lord, every male that openeth the womb shall be called holy to the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And to offer a sacrifice according to that which is said in the law of the Lord, a pair of turtle doves or 2 young pigeons. Okay, so this is
exactly what Mary gave. But this is what someone would give if they did not have the finances, the money for a lamb, just right, as well. Because when you look at the actual law in Leviticus 12 and 8, can you read that? This shows that Mary and them was not rich. This shows that they didn't have a lot of money. Because for some reason he believed that Christ had a lot of money. A lot of these prosperity teachings teach that Jesus Christ was rich. Right? So in Leviticus 12 and 8, it says, go ahead.
And if she be not able to bring a lamb, then she shall bring 2 turtles and 2 young pigeons, the one for the burnt offering and the other for a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for her, and she shall be clean.
So this is what one would give when they don't have those finances. We don't have the bread like that. But he says Christ was rich, right? This is a teaching that's out there that he was wealthy and he was sitting on all his bread. Well, let's check this one out. This is Second Corinthians 8 and 9. You got it.
Come on. It says, "For ye know the grace of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, that though he was rich, though he was rich, yet for your sakes he became poor, that ye through his poverty might be rich."
It says through his poverty might be rich. What does all of this mean? Why is Christ? Why do you have to come from the hood? Why?
Right.
In order to really understand that, number one, look at the condition that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are in. You know, you don't expect for the truth to come from the hood. You just don't. Especially coming from the hood. You don't expect it. You don't expect it. One of my teachers that when I was a Christian was people like James White. And it was another dude, his name was Stanley something. He used to come on Sundays. And I was prone to their type of teaching. Right. I was prone to their type of language, their type of curriculum, the way they said their syllables, the way they said their words. And I wasn't comfortable listening to someone that sounded like me speaking, especially about the Most High, until I met Commander General Yohana. When I met Commander General Yohana and I heard him speak, I was like, I heard a different type of love. I heard a love that only a Black, Hispanic, a Native American could actually receive. Right. It was that type of love. I never heard that type of love before. So,
Concert.
Go ahead.
And if I may, also, like, just hearing the way that Commanding General Yohana speaks, it comes from a place of pain. Right. You feel me? It comes from a place of going through these things. So it's like, how could Christ teach just a message if he didn't go through it?
Exactly. That's one of the reasons why he had to be made just like his brethren, so that we could understand what he went through and that we could actually, let's pull that real quick. Let's pull that precept. Let's pull that. Cool. That's in Hebrews 2 and 16. No. Yeah, it's Hebrew. Because that's important. That's important. That's really important to understand that Christ had to be made just like his brethren. Just like his brothers. And it was a reason behind it. It wasn't just because. It wasn't just to fill in the blanks. It wasn't just to fill in the blanks. You know what I'm saying? So saying that he was born with this as a mutant, as half man, half God, it actually takes away from the whole birth. It takes away from the whole humanity. It takes away from the whole priesthood. This is the precept right here. You got it. You can start at 16.
16. Khan, that's the book of Hebrews, chapter 2, verse 16. Mm-hmm. It says, "For verily he took not on him the nature of angels."
So he didn't take on the nature of angels. Hold on, Salakia. He didn't take on the nature of angels, because if he took on the nature of angels, then you would have an argument. But because angels did not come from a male organism on earth and a female organism on earth. So it says, read it again.
Khan. "For verily he took not on him the nature of angels."
He did not take on that nature. Go ahead.
Slakia. "But he took on him the seed of Abraham."
He took up on him the seed of Abraham. It's important to really let that sink in. To let that really, really sink in on this lesson tonight. He had to be just like us so that we can we can relate to him, so we can understand and learn how to defeat sin. So he took up on the seed of Abraham, not up on the nature of angels. Go ahead.
Khan. Wherefore in all things it behooved him to be made like unto his brethren.
So it says it behooved him in all things, not some things, but all things. That means that a male and a female, Joseph and Mary, had sex, and it behooved him to be made just like his brethren. It doesn't say in some things. It doesn't say in half things. It says in all things. One more time.
Khan. Wherefore in all things it behooved him to be made like unto his brethren, that he might be a merciful and faithful high priest.
This is how he can be. This is how he can be faithful. This is how he can be merciful. He can't be faithful and merciful if he's like Superman, or
Right.
if he's a hybrid. How could he be faithful and merciful, high priest in things that pertain to the Most High? Go ahead.
Khan. To make reconciliation for the sins of the people.
And you know who the people are? The 12 tribes of Israel. We're going to show that too. Go ahead.
For in that he himself have suffered being tempted,
so
he is able to secure.
He was tempted. If he was tempted and he was a hybrid and he defeated the sin, that's not helping us. That's not helping. That's not helping me. That's not helping blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. If he was tempted and he overcame and he was like Superman, when I'm watching Superman and he gets shot and he walking through the bullets and all that, that ain't a big deal to me. He's Superman. He wasn't made like me. Read that one more time.
Khan. It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 2, verse 17. Wherefore in all things it behooved him to be made like unto his brethren, that he might be a merciful and faithful high priest in things pertaining to God, to make reconciliation for the sins of the people. For in that he himself have suffered being tempted, he is able to secure them that are tempted.
Exactly. That's how we are secure. That's how he is a faithful and high priest, is because he was made just like us. And you know, what's so heavy about him being made just like us? Look, he was from the block just like us. He was from the block just like us. So the first thing, the first thing, like I told y'all, we're going to do is we're going to look at these maps, right? These maps are important, and I'm going to explain why these maps are important and what you're looking at. All right, what you're looking at, the one on the left is you're looking at the northern kingdom up top, and you're looking at the southern kingdom. All right, that's what you're looking at. But then by the time you get over here to the map to the right, you'll see this is during the time of Christ. So this is like 1,000 years later, a little over 1,000 years later. And guess what? Now things look a little different. They look a little different. Look, you got Samaria, you got Galilee. These areas are different now, because between these two periods, the northern kingdom had went into captivity, and Judah had went into captivity just as well. But all of Judah didn't come back from captivity. I don't know if y'all familiar, but you have the northern kingdom and you have the southern kingdom. It's very important for me to show you these maps. All right. So we're going to zoom in now on the map from the time of Christ. If you got any questions, you can jump in. If you got anything you want to add, you could jump in. Now, Galilee, if you see this circle right here on the one on your left right here, that half circle, and then you see it blown up, that's Galilee right here. That was the only thing left during the time of Yahushua. It was right there of the northern kingdom. That's it.
Go ahead.
So
So the rest of the northern kingdom, they was left in Galilee.
They were in captivity. It's going to get tricky. Just give me a minute. No, okay. It was more than just the northern kingdom in Galilee.
Right.
And we're going to go through that too. All right. And I'm going to show you how. Remember when they came back from captivity from Babylon, it was only Judah. We're going to touch on that too. So I tell you what, let's wait for us to get to it. But what I want them to see is I want them to see the maps. I want you to see where Christ's worth was from. And if you look right next to, he got Nazareth, you got Canaan. Remember, one of the Israelites, one of the apostles was a Canaanite from Galilee. This is where it was right here. It was right next to Nazareth. See what I mean? You get a chance to see. You see Capernaum. You get a chance to see these places on where Christ walked as you read. When you do that, you get a different perspective. You get a different understanding. You get a bigger picture. You get a bigger picture on who Christ was speaking to. And you'll really understand that he was only speaking to Israelites. That's who he was speaking to. Yeah, you really get a chance to see that when you look at these maps. So we're going to take a look at these maps. So the first precept I want you to go to, if you want to, it's in Joshua 19 and 32. Can you go there real quick? I'm gonna pull it up on the screen.
Okay.
I got it on the screen, though. I'm not gonna have you read all of it, but I'm gonna try to give everybody a perspective. Now, remember, we're focusing on Galilee. All right, we're focusing on Nazareth, where Christ was raised. And you know what else I want to bring out too while we got this here? Notice he's not called Jesus of Judah. He's called Jesus of Nazareth. He's not called. You feel me? Because Christians like to say, well, listen to his name. Hear his name. He doesn't sound like an Israelite. He doesn't have an Israelite name. He doesn't have a name from one of the tribes. Well, Christ doesn't have one of the names from the tribes. Christ's name, actually, Jesus of Nazareth, wasn't even where he was born. It was where he was raised. It was where he hung out at. It was where he kicked it at. That's what's heavy about it. And you're about to see it. You got that, Matt? Joshua 19 and 32?
Come on, sir.
Go ahead.
This the book of Joshua, chapter 19, verse 32. It says, the sixth lot came out to the children of Naphtali.
All right, so now this is Salakia. This is us. This is us getting our land, and I'm gonna show you on a map what it looks like. But this is our brothers Naphtali actually getting their land. Go ahead.
Even for the children of Naphtali, according to their families.
All right, go ahead down to 39. You don't got to read it all, but it just goes down and it starts to name all those areas that he was getting. All right, and it also goes in with Asher and stuff like that. But we're focusing on Naphtali. Go ahead.
This is the book of Joshua, chapter 19, verse 39. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Naphtali, according to their families, the cities and their villages.
All right. Now I want you to go to 19 and 10.
It says, and the third lot came up for the children of Zebulun, according to their families.
Mm-hmm.
And the border of their inheritance was unto Sarid.
All right. So now, and go down to verse 16.
Verse 16. This is the inheritance of the children of Zebulun, according to their families, these cities with their villages.
All right. So now I'm going to show y'all what it looks like. Now, during that time, right, if you look at the map, it was 100% Israelites there in Galilee. That's important. That's important. And it's a reason why I'm saying it. All right. But this was around 1200 between 1200 and 1050 BC. All right. So it was 100% Israelites, right? Everyone there received the inheritance. Everyone there was from a tribe. Everyone there was under a covenant, and it was a fully entrenched in Hebrew culture. That's important. But this area became later known as the Gentile island, the Gentile land, and I'm gonna show you how. But you see that? You got any thing you want to add on that out?
Lie, sir. I'm just this is all just Galilee, right? This land right
Where
that we seeing.
No. Okay,
The,
so let me show you. Let me show you where Galilee at. Hold on. This is Galilee. What you're seeing right here is what we just read, the inheritance. All of this is Naphtali, and right here is Zebulon. That's why I got it circled right there. You see what I'm saying? And,
so
and that's the area that we focus on.
Like you. No, you got it.
Well, that's the area that
we're...
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I said delay. You got it.
I was saying that this is the area that we're going to be focusing on, is right here. Just right here. I want everybody to remember all of this. All of this is Israel. All of this. But by the time we got to Christ, right, it turned into this. So we're going to start off like this, 100% Israel. You got me?
Come.
All right.
I was just getting that from my notes real quick.
All right, yeah, get it, because this is good stuff. When you're going through and you're reading about, like, when he was at the marriage in Canaan, you actually see Canaan, right? Let me go to it real quick. You get a chance to see Canaan. So the area that we're looking at now is, I'm zooming in on it again. This is Galilee. The map that you see to the left is really zoomed all the way in. It's really zoomed all the way in. And I'm gonna show y'all what I mean. Do you see Samaria? You see Samaria, right?
Come.
All right. I'm gonna come back to that. You see Samaria. Let me see. This is, hold on. This is what it all looked. Hold up. Yes, this is what it all looked like before. You see all the land, all Israel, all Israel. All right. Now, by the time we get to Christ's time, we only gonna have that small area. Everything around here is Gentiles, and then Samaria is gonna become Gentile. Watch this. So you see it. Any questions? I'm showing these maps because it's very important. All right, it's very important. Now, this is the map during Christ's time. This is Galilee again. A zoom in to Galilee. This is Samaria, and this is Jerusalem. Judah. And the temple is all the way down here. So in order for Christ to travel to the temple, remember, he traveled to the temple for his birthday, Salakia, on the Passover, Salakia, when he turned 12. Salakia, I ain't mean to say that. For the Passover, he traveled. This is the route that he traveled. This is the route that he traveled. So he had to come all through here. And trust you me, he didn't come like split through. He probably traveled close to the water. All right. All right. So now let's go to 2 Kings 15 and 23.
Okay.
Let me get to Now remember, it was nothing but Israelites there. It was our land. It was no different tongues there, no different language there. It was none of that was going on. It was strictly Israel. All right. You got that 2 Kings, I say 15, and I want you to start at 23, right? Ain't that what I got up here?
Okay.
Yep, that's it. 23. Start at 23. You got it. Go ahead.
Okay. This is the book of 2 Kings, chapter 15, verse 23. In the 5th year of Azariah, king of Judah, Pekah, the son of Menahem, began to reign over Israel in Samaria, and reigned 2 years.
All right. So remember, we saw on the map that Samaria was Israel's, and we had a king over Samaria. All right. We had a king over Samaria. Verse 29. Matter of fact, Salakia, hold up. Read 24. What you was about to say?
Con. I was just about to say, around what time period is this?
This is, hold on. Was heavy. This is like 753. It's something, it's early, or 953. I think it's 753, if I'm not mistaken. But listen, this is what's heavy. This is the first captivity. I want everybody to understand right here what's getting ready to happen. This is the first captivity. This was the first piece of land. This was the first piece of Israel that went into captivity. Nothing else went into captivity before this. This is the first time. All right. The first time. All right. Verse 24.
Con. And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon, and from Kuta, and from Ava, and from Hamath, and from Sepharvaim, and placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel.
So what did he do with the children of Israel? He took the children of Israel out. Remember we read in, what's that, 23? Salakia, hold on. We read in 23, right? Where he was reigning. Then we read in 24 that he's bringing some in. Read verse 29.
Con. In the days of Pekah, king of Israel, came Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria, and took that's an Ijon, and Ablethmaachah, and Jonah, and Kadesh, and Hazor, and Gilead, and Galilee, and the land of Naphtali, and carried them captive to Assyria.
So now you got Naphtali. Remember the land was Naphtali, right? Remember that?
Right.
Now Naphtali everyone in Naphtali was being taken out into captivity. This was the first captivity. Look, Israel was taken out. Naphtali was taken out. Zebulun was taken out, and non-Israelites was brought in. You know how you be hearing different nations say, well, we got our records, and we got this, and we got that, and yada, yada, yada. Well, they got those records and stuff because of they were placed in that land. Hold on, let me 2 Kings 17. Hold on. Are you familiar with that?
Like when other nations say they got records of certain things?
Right.
I'm a little familiar, not too much. I've heard a Christian or another nation say that at a point in time, but I mean, it doesn't really prove too much.
All right, so I'm gonna bring up. Hold on, Salaki. I'm gonna bring up. Go to 2 Kings 17. I'm shooting from the hip, going out of this for a minute, and we're gonna go down to verse. Let me see if I can. Is this 2 Kings 17? Yeah. Hold on. But no, this 18. I knew something was wrong. Hold on. We're gonna go down to go to 2022. 2 King. Am I up? Do I got it on the board? 2 King. I'm about to show y'all. This is, you know, when you like I said, you hear people, different nations say, well, we got the records and we can show our name and we can show this and we can show that, right? Go ahead. Start right there at verse 22.
Come. For the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam, which he did. They departed not from them, until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight, as he had said by all his servants, the prophets.
So
was
in other words,
Israel
it's saying
carried away out of
Salakia, he was warning them. That's why it says, as he has said by all his servants, the prophets, because he's been saying it and warning you and warning them, right? So he says, go ahead.
Salakia, this still chapter 15?
No, this is actually 2 Kings 17. It's the same event. You about to see it's the same thing.
Come. You said go down to verse.
Keep going. Now listen, it was different deportations. Let me just say this. It was different deportations. It wasn't all just once. That's why I'm saying just one part was taken out first. Naphtali was taken out first. Galilee was taken out first. Nazareth, all of that, the Canaan of Galilee, all of that, Capernaum, all that was taken out first. All right. But I'm just showing you the people that he brought in and how they have records, how this woman that's not an Israelite says, the woman at the well says, our father Abraham worshiped at this well. Well, where's she getting this information from? This is what I'm going to show you. All of this is tied into Galilee. Go ahead. Keep going. 23. You read 23, right?
No, I didn't finish. It said, so was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria unto this day.
Keep going.
And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon, and from Kuta, and from Ava, and from Hamath, and from Sepharim, and placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel, and possessed Samaria and dwelt in the cities thereof.
So that's why when Christ was talking about not going into the cities of Samaria, because this had taken place. But it gets even heavier. Keep going.
Khan. And so it was at the beginning of their dwelling there that they feared not the Lord. Therefore the Lord sent lions among them, which slew some of them. Wherefore they spake to the king of Assyria, saying, the nations which thou hast removed and placed in the cities of Samaria know not the manner of the God of the land. Therefore he hath sent lions among them, and behold, they slay them, because they know not the manner of the God of the land.
So you see what's going on,
then
right?
The king
Hold on. You see what's going on? All right, go ahead. You familiar with this now?
Salaki, say it again.
I said you familiar with this now?
Yeah.
All right, keep going.
About what's going on, yeah, All
right.
It says, wherefore they spake unto the king of Assyria, verse 27. Then the king of Assyria commanded, saying, carry thither one of the priests whom ye brought from thence, and let them go and dwell there, and let him teach them the manner of the God of the land.
All right, so you see what's going on. They're actually being taught. They're actually being taught by Levites. They're actually being taught by Levites how to fear the Lord, how to follow our commandments, how to follow our laws, how to follow our sacrifices. Keep going.
Then one of the priests whom they had carried away from Samaria came and dwelt in Bethuel, and taught them how they should fear the Lord.
All right, so you get
how be it. Oh, it's like
no, that's to why. That's to why. So you get a chance to see. This is why the conditions is going to change dramatically. Remember, we at the point right now where we're looking at the king of Assyria actually taking Israelites out of the land and putting other nations in the land. You see, that's important.
Right.
That's important because, first of all, we don't all dwell together like that. All right. We just don't. All right. And it kind of remind me of what took place here. It took place here. So look, this is what we have. We have the first invasion. Remember, this was the first place. This was the first spot. Is that up? Am I up on the screen? Yeah. This is the first spot. This is the first place. This is the first part of Israel that was invaded. So if anybody ever want to talk about captivity, because Maria was talking about, she wanted me to go over all the captivities. Well, I just happened to stumble on the fact that where our king was raised, Jesus of Nazareth of Galilee, that was the first area invaded. That was the first area that it was a deportation that took place, meaning Israelites was taken out into captivity. This is the first place that it was a replacement where other people are coming in and being us. This is the first place. Now you got foreigners that's brought in from Assyria that's thinking with Assyria policies. And you're going to see, if you read 2 King later, you'll see that, of course, they went in and did their own thing. But this is why it was called Galilee of the nations. This is why. It's because other nations was brought in. We were taken out and other nations was brought in. You got anything you want to add up?
Sir. It just kind of proves the point of why the stories are told the way they're told and why Christians don't truly understand the Bible.
Right.
Because think about it, if it's showing that oppression been going on for our disobedience and it's just repeating itself, I mean, I don't understand why it's so hard for them to see that in full spectrum. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Con. Listen, this is why what was going on in Samaria and what was going on in in the region of Galilee and North Israel. This is why Christ said in Matthew 10:5. Let's get that. Matthew 10:5. I actually got that. Matthew 10:5. But I'm gonna pull it up. When you go to Matthew 10:5, this is why he said this. Remember, he said this right here. Go ahead, you got it.
Con. These 12, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 5. These 12 Yahushua sent forth and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
That's why he said it.
So
go ahead.
What you about to say? When he was saying go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, was they further down in the map, like where you were showing where he went for the Passover?
What, the lost sheep of the house of Israel? The lost sheep of the house of Israel. The rest of them. Right. We had areas in Galilee where we were more dominantly at, but we also, when you talk about Samaria, though, Samaria was more flooded with Gentile cities. So he was just saying, don't go in there, right? Don't go in those in Samaria, because it was flooded with Israel. Remember, salvation goes to the Jews first, so he's going to send them to the Israel. Like our people was here. Right.
Come.
Right. This is why it was called. Because of that reason, it was called Isaiah 9:1. Is that on the screen?
La.
All right, hold on. Let me pull him up. Isaiah 9:1. This is why you see this. Go ahead. We're gonna come back to this too. Go ahead.
Come. Nevertheless, the dimness shall not be such as was in her vexation, when at the first he lightly afflicted the land of Zebulun and in the land of Naphtali, and afterward did more grievously afflict her by the way of the sea beyond Jordan and Galilee of the nations.
All right, so you see that now at this time Galilee has become the Galilee of nations. All right. Why? Because it's other nations there. We're not dominantly there. Remember, it started out 100% what? Israel. 100% culture, Israel. Everything was about Israel, right? Then it took a spin. But guess what? It took another spin when we came out of the captivity in Babylon. You got anything you want to add up?
Yeah, Khan. Hey, so
Yeah.
like that would be kind of like in today's time, like with gentrification, how like the
Yeah.
hood not just all us anymore. You know what I mean? It's
Same
crazy how
thing.
history repeats itself.
God, it's like a giant red line and a gentrification. It's like a giant. It's just humongous. It's in a large mass. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But remember, this is a whole replacement. Remember, it said they took all Naphtali. It took all Naphtali. So remember, so Israel was in captivity, but Judah went to captivity in Babylon. So do you know who
Right.
came out of captivity in Babylon, right?
Are you referring to when they just said the king had brought them out of Babylon?
No. This right here, this is a whole different time period. I'm glad you brought that up. All right. What we just looked at was the northern kingdom going into captivity. All right.
Right.
Judah had went into
So it was
captivity
the
too.
southern
Right. The southern kingdom went into captivity too. But the southern kingdom, they went into captivity in Babylon. The northern kingdom.
Right. Okay, come on.
Right. Remember, the northern kingdom was cut off and called not a people no more. But the Most High had mercy. We gotta
Right.
pull it. We gotta pull it. Let's go to it. That's Hosea. Because somebody gonna say, nah, that's not
Hey,
true.
so like yeah.
Go ahead.
So like if I may do it, and this is ain't this kind of like where a lot of Christians get confused with the grafted in type of thing?
Oh, absolutely. This is
Like
so important. Absolutely. They get so tangled up in here. A lot of people get messed up too, not understanding who was in Israel during the time of Christ's ministry. That's why we about to look at during Christ's lifetime. When he was there, who was there? Remember, we just showed that Israel, which was the northern kingdom, went into captivity and they was taken out. They was deported. They was taken out captivity to Assyria. And then we know, based on the Apocrypha, that later they came over here. So we know that. But Judah was still on that side of the earth. You with me?
Right.
And the Most High brought the Most High brought Judah back, but not Israel. And we're going to take a look at that. That's in Hosea. That's in Hosea 1. I'm going to bring it up on the screen. Hosea 1. And we're going to start at, if you can start at 6. I'm going to pull it up. You got it. Now this is a whole different time period. Remember, the northern kingdom is in captivity. They have been scattered. Now they're on this side of the earth. Assyrians have brought non-Israelites and placed them in the land of the nations. And now Galilee, which used to be 100% Israelites, is now called the Galilee of nations. All right. So what happened with Israel and what happened with Judah? Because Judah went into captivity. Here it is. You got it? Hosea 1 and 6.
Khan. This is the book of Hosea, chapter 1, verse 6. And she conceived again and bare a daughter. And God said unto him, call her name Loruhamiah, for I will no more have mercy upon the house of Israel, but I will utterly take them away.
So he said he will no more have mercy on the house of Israel. He says, but I will utterly take them out of the way. He's done with them. He cut them off. Right? Verse 7.
Right. Khan. But I will have mercy upon the house of Judah, and will save them by the Lord their God, and will not save them by bow, nor by sword, nor by battle, by horses, nor by horsemen.
All right. So that's why. So now let's see, how did he do it? How did he have mercy on them? He had mercy on them. He had mercy on them when he brought them back to the land. All right. And we're gonna go to, I'm gonna bring it up. We're gonna go to Ezra chapter 1. Ezra chapter 1. Who came back to the land? This right here is so important, because Christians believe that all 12 tribes came back to the land out of the captivity of Babylon. No, it didn't happen that way. Only Judah came back, and it's going to show you those tribes in particular. Go ahead.
Khan. Now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled, the Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom, and put it also in writing, saying, Thus saith Cyrus, king of Persia, the Lord God of heaven hath given me all the kingdoms of the earth, and he have charged me to build him an house at Jerusalem, which is in Judah.
So remember, this is dealing with the Babylonian captivity. So the only ones that went into the Babylonian captivity was Judah. Keep that in mind right here. I'm circling it. Judah. And here it is. Here's the proof. This who came out. Verse 5.
Khan. Then rose up the chief of the fathers of Judah and Benjamin, and the priests and the Levites, with all them whose spirit God had raised up to go up to build the house of the Lord, which is in Jerusalem.
So these are the tribes. These are the dominant tribes. This is the southern kingdom: Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. I'm not saying none of the northern kingdom went up too, but what we're saying covenant wise, the Most High only had Judah still under his mercy. Israel wasn't under his mercy. So the ones that went back to Judah, went back to Israel, was the southern kingdom: Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, which were called the Jews. All right, you got that? Anything you want to add on that?
No, I'm just taking. Can you go back for a second so I get that last scripture?
No sweat.
Do water. All right, you two out.
All right. So this is important to understand that all of this is gone. All of this is gone. But coming back, we had some that went up there, and I'm going to show you who was up there. We had some of us that went up in Galilee region, right? We had some that went up in Galilee region. We're going to go to, now we know the precept. Here's the precept right here. Is Deuteronomy 7:3. Neither shall they make marriages with them. Talking about the other nations. We should not make marriages with the other nations, or with their daughters or with their sons, nor with his daughters, or shall we take unto thy son. I mean, their daughters shall we take for our sons. So there's no intermixing. There's no marrying other nations, right?
Right.
But when you read Nehemiah 13 and 23, this is when we was coming back. This is what we ran into now in that same region of Galilee. Go ahead, you got it. Nehemiah 13 and 23.
Khan, it's the book of Nehemiah, chapter 13, verse 23. It says, in those days also saw I Jews that had married wives of Ashdod, of Ammon, and of Moab.
Keep going. 24.
Khan. And their children speak half in the speech of Ashdod, and could not speak in the Jews' language, but according to the language of each people.
So now this is what we're dealing with. Now in Galilee, we got a mess up here now. Now it's just a mess. You got other nations, you got other languages, other tongues, you got Israelites speaking other languages because they was marrying other nations. It's just a mess. It's just a mess. So now what we have to do is we're looking at what's going on up there in Galilee. All right, up in that region of Nazareth, right? So now what do we have? I'll show you what we have. One sec. I told you we're going to deal with a lot of maps. So what we have now is we have Israelites that were still there, living among foreigners, language altered, culture diluted, and Israelites living among Gentiles. That's what we have now here in Galilee. That's what we got in Galilee. So because of that, and now you have Israel. Let me show y'all something. Let me see if I can pull up. I'm gonna go here. Here we go. Look, check this out, right? The distance from Nazareth to Jerusalem, or Nazareth, Galilee, Jerusalem to the temple, is approximately about 65 to 70 miles, right? Traveling there would take about 3 to 5 days on foot. All right. But I want you to look at the distance here. The distance here. All right. So it wasn't, Christ didn't live or go and start preaching to the rich. He didn't go to Jerusalem and start trying to get them together and get his disciples and his apostles from there. He got them from around his way. He got them from around the way. He got them from the hood. He got them from the block. He got them from where he was from. He got them from this area where there was Israelites still there. He got them from among where the foreigners and where the language was altered and the culture was diluted. That's where he got them from. All right. And this is how they thought of us. This is how they thought of us. You can read that up there, right? But what you could get a chance to see, but what you're going to get a chance to see is, who did he get? Who did he call? Did he go to Jerusalem and call those that are high esteem? No, he called them right around the way. And I got the map here so you can see that all of his disciples, the majority of his disciples, his apostles, they was all from Galilee. Go ahead,
Khan. This is the book of John, chapter 1, verse 44. It says, now Philip was of Bethsaida, the city of Andrew and Peter.
All right.
John 21 and 2.
And you can see it. I'm just showing them on the map as you're reading. Go ahead.
John 21 and 2. There were together Simeon, Peter, and Thomas, called Didymus, and Nathanael of Cana and Galilee, of the sons of Zebedee, and 2 other of his disciples. Matthew 4 and 18. And Yahushua, walking by the Sea of Galilee, saw 2 brethren, Simeon called Peter, and Andrew his brother, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishers. Matthew 4 and 19, it says, and he saith unto them, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men.
So just peep that. All of them is from around the way. He didn't go down to Jerusalem and go down to the temple and try to fish out a rabbi or try to fish out a Pharisee. He fished out his brethren, those that was right around him, those that was among the Gentiles. Okay, Khan, this is how you fish out. Christ was teaching you how you fish out Israelites among other nations. Go ahead. What you got?
I ain't had no question.
Yeah.
I ain't had no question.
Okay, Khan. So now let's see how they looked at the Galileans. How did they look at Christ? How did they, what did they think of those that was in that region? What did they think? Because remember, there's a nice distance between the elite and where Christ lived and where Christ was from and where the apostles was from.
Right.
I mean, it was a nice little space there. It was a financial gap and everything, poverty, poor, all of that. It was a very serious gap there. There was a very serious gap. So let's see, how did they look up on Yahweh Shah? If you go to Acts chapter 11, Acts chapter 1, right? Acts chapter 1, verse 11, it says, go ahead, just to show, matter of fact, you don't even got to read verse 1, because it just shows that these men were of Galilee when they were looking up at Christ. And they said, which also say, this is the angel said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? So they were from Galilee. But look what they said in Acts chapter 2 and verse 7. Go ahead, you got it.
Khan. And they were all amazed and marveled, saying one to another, behold, are not all these which speak Galileans?
So why are they saying that? If these are Jews,
like,
go ahead. Go ahead, you got it.
Because they started speaking the languages of the people whose land they was in.
Right. But why did they say, aren't these men Galileans? They speak Galileans. Why is they saying that? What's wrong with Jews being able to speak other tongues? Why are they saying that about them? I got you. This right here is this right here in John 1 and 46. This is Nathaniel. So Nathaniel lived there. He lives in Nazareth. Go ahead, read that out.
Khan. And Nathanael said unto him, can there any good thing come out of Nazareth? Philip saith unto him, come and see.
So he's saying, look, can anything come from that? Anything good? Can anything good come from Nazareth? Anything? And this is where the king comes from. This is where the Messiah comes from. And here's a man from that same region saying, can anything good come out of it? Man, that sounds so, that's so us. That's so us right here.
I was just about to say that. Like, that's like brothers that move out the hood, get a nice crib, and they be like, yo, can anything good come out the hood? You know what I mean? They just start to look totally different on it.
Yeah.
No, you got it. I was just saying they just start to look different.
Yeah, but and those that's right in the hood can still see, because they get, look, when I became an Israelite, right? It was an important moment for me, I think, because the things that I had achieved and the things that I had worked on, it really didn't mean too much, because society had put me in this certain space. They had me in this certain space, and they spoke about me in this space this way. And even though I achieved some things before I realized I was an Israelite, I believed those things. You know what I'm saying? Even as a child growing up, my mom, my grandmother saying different things that stuck with me, and the world saying different things that stuck with me. So I had that same feeling too. I didn't believe anything good can come out of Southwest. I didn't think anything good could come out of Southwest. Actually, we like amazed when somebody make it out the hood. Like if somebody make it in the rap world, we just amazed, like, yo, wow, blah, 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 such made it. Because we like, man, can anything good come out of the hood? Can anything good come out of Southwest Philly?
Crab to the barrel.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what type time he was on. Go ahead, John 7 and 52.
Khan. They answered and said unto him, art thou also of Galilee? Search and look, for out of Galilee ariseth no prophet.
So when they even when they said that right there, they were saying that because, okay, it's two ways that they look at that. Some say that they were saying that because they was just being sarcastic and being smart, saying, but they was being sarcastic and being smart. But I thought they was being sarcastic and being smart from the aspect of the same thing. Can anything good? Is there a scripture to say that the Messiah is coming out of Galilee? That's what, because the only reason why I say that is because Jonah was from Galilee. So there was a prophet that came from Galilee, and that was Jonah. But here they're questioning, can anything good come out of Galilee? And then it says, for out of Galilee ariseth no prophet, meaning the Messiah is not, nothing good is coming out of there. The same token, the same thing, right? But this is why they were saying from Galilee. From, if you go to Matthew 26, but I'm gonna pull it back up. Check this out. Matthew 26. This is when Peter denied Yahushua, right? Now remember, they from Galilee, they from Nazareth. You got Jerusalem and you got Galilee. It's a nice distance. Everything is different there. The way they sound, like if you hear a brother talk from the West Coast or from down south or something, we're saying the same words, but accent is different. Right. You know what I'm saying? We got different ways of saying things, even in the school, different accents. But check this out. This is when Peter denied the Messiah, Matthew 26 and 69, dealing with them being from Galilee. Go ahead.
Come on. Now Peter sat without in the palace, and a damsel came unto him, saying, Thou also was with Yahushua of Galilee. But he denied.
They identify Salakia. So I want everyone to make sure that we identify the fact that this damsel is saying Jesus of Galilee. They're making sure that they identify where he's from. And that is the reason why, is because they were different there. They were poverty there. They looked down on them there. Keep going.
Khan. But he denied before them all, saying, I know not what thou sayest. And when he was gone out into the porch, another maid saw him, and said unto them that were there, This fellow was also with Jesus of Nazareth.
Now he's being called Jesus of Nazareth. I really want, this is just for debate purposes, right? I just want to take a sidebar. And I said this earlier. Jesus is not called Jesus of Judah or Jesus Yahweh or anything. He's called Jesus of Galilee and Jesus of Nazareth. There's nothing about his name that give identity that he's an Israelite. So that's one to grow on that you can take with you. All right, keep going.
Khan. And again he denied with an oath, I do not know the man. And afterward a while came unto him they that stood by, and said to Peter, Surely thou also art one of them, for thy speech bewareth one of them.
Mm-hmm.
For thy speech bewareth me. Bewareth the.
So his speech gave him away. The way he talked gave him away.
Right.
Because they were from Galilee. The word Galilee means circle. It means circle. You know what I'm saying? Mm. So that's where Yahweh Shah was from. That's where he was from. 1 Corinthians 1 and 26. He was from there. Yahweh Shah didn't go to the temple and go and get the head rabbi, the head teacher. Go ahead, you got it.
Khan. Book of 1 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 26. Mm-hmm. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called.
So all of those men that Yahweh Shah called, it's not many wise men, it's not noble men, it's not mighty men. He went and got fishermen.
Right.
He got brothers from around the way. He got brothers from around the block. And look, those that are elite, that was in the temple, look down on them. Look down on them. So check this out. Keep going.
But God hath chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. Mm-hmm. And God hath chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty.
Like I said, when I was coming up, I had to hear a certain tone to your voice when you speaking in order for me to retain the information that you were speaking. I'll never forget it. After Commander General Yohana had spoke, and I told y'all about that certain type of love that I never heard before, then I heard Captain Tazariak just destroy my teacher. Just crush my Esau bull. Just killed him, crushed him. And look, did it like he was around the way. Did it like he was around the way. I was like, damn. He sounded good doing it. I didn't have no discrepancies with it.
Right.
I was able to take their speech. I was able to take my speech and say, now something good can come out of Galilee. Something good can come out of Philly. Something good can come out of Southwest. I started to believe that. I started to understand that. That's why it's so important to understand that Christ came from right where we from. The block, the gutter, the poor. This is why oppression makes a wise man mad. That's why it says, but God had not chose, he had chose the foolish things of this world to confound the wise. And God had not chose the weak things of the world. He chose the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. Verse 28, you got it.
And base things of the world and things which are despised have God chosen. Yea,
they are despised in Galilee. You saw how they talked about him. You saw how they looked up on him. You saw how they treated him. Remember, they said Christ was a gluttony. They said he was a wine bibber. Said he just hang out with sinners and just eating and drinking and partying. That's it. That's how they look upon us. That's how they see us.
Counselor, if I may, too, even just the way they answered, they said, you one of them.
Mm-hmm.
It was like basically like you one of them over there.
One of them.
You got to stay with them.
Right. Yeah, and he stood out too. Did you got that last one?
Khan says, I'm gonna finish it out. He said, yea, and the things which are not, to bring to naught things that are.
James 2:5. These are just precepts.
It's the book of James, chapter.
Salakia, these are just precepts to show you the condition and the state that they were in, and what Christ come for the poor, for us, those that are not in those high societies. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Counselor and Salakia, if I may, too.
Mm-hmm.
How else would the people be able to reign with Christ if they suffer with him and go through what he went through, like in the same oppression sense? You know what I mean? Like in the sense of like when it come to Christ, once you understand Christ grew up in the hood and went through oppression and he suffered and endured that, how can you endure it if you're not going through the same things, if you're not in the same environments, if you're not in the same mindset?
Well, like I said, I think it's important. You know, I heard somebody say that it's important for us to see, talking about Barack Obama, someone that looked like us in that place, because seeing someone that looked like us in that position shows us that we can achieve and we can get there. Well, guess what? That's what we're doing tonight. We're showing you that Yahweh Shah, the king, the greatest man that was ever born on this planet, was born in poverty. He was born in a low state. He was born, he became poor. He came from a place just like you. That's what he did. That's important. That's important. All right. That's so vital. But in closing, right? I'm going to get right. In closing, I'm going to show y'all that Christ actually, his ministry, and he began, let's, you know what, I'm going to come out of the slide for a minute, right? We're going to go to Matthew 4. Because I'm going to show him something, right? Go to Matthew 4. Are you familiar with Matthew 4? Matthew 4. You are? Okay.
Go
ahead. What would you say?
Let me start at 1.
No. You don't,
You want me to
no.
start at
You
verse 1?
No, not yet. What I want to show them is, look, I want everybody to see in Matthew chapter 4, right? This is Christ, Jesus going into the wilderness to be tempted by Satan. You can see it in verse 1. It says, then was Jesus led up of the spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. So this is actually happening. It took 40 days and 40 nights, right? After he was tempted, you can pick it up at verse 12.
Come on. Salaki. Book of Matthew, chapter 4, verse 12. It says, now when Yahushua had heard that John was cast into prison, he departed into Galilee.
Remember, think about it. This is where he's from. Think about it. Into Galilee. Go ahead.
And leaving Nazareth, he came and dwelt in Capernaum, which is upon the sea coast. Which is upon the sea coast in the borders of Zebulun and Naphtali, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by Esaias the prophet, saying, the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, Nephthalim, by the way of the sea beyond Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles.
Salakia. Of the what? Of the Gentiles. Right. So here it's saying that this was a fulfillment when Christ went into the to the Galilee of the Gentiles. So let's see where that come from. People just come from right here. Hold on. I'm gonna remove that. Bring that down. Bring her back. This is the fulfillment of that precept right here. It comes from Isaiah 9. I told y'all we was going to pull it again. Go ahead. You got it. Isaiah 9:1.
Khan. Nevertheless, the dimness shall not be such as was in her vexation, when at the first he lightly afflicted the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, and afterward did more grievously afflict her by the way of the sea beyond Jordan and Galilee of the nations.
Keep going.
The people that walked in darkness have seen a great light, that they dwell in the land of the shadow of death. Upon them have the light shine.
So you know what that light was? That was the Israelites that was in that region. That's who the people saw great light. That's the fulfillment of Isaiah 9:1, where it says the people that walk in darkness have seen great light. The people that saw that great light that was in that region, we see it. Those was Israelites. Those was Israelites indeed. Remember, there was other nations that was there. And Christ went to fish out the lost sheep of the house of Israel. All right.
Right.
All right. You got any questions?
Well,
I'm gonna tell you. One thing when I was studying that, what stood out to me that was big in that it was the first part of the captivity. I always wanted to know what part went into captivity first, like what actual part, not just the northern kingdom. So we see that it was Naphtali. It was all the way up top. They started moving them out.
And it's like, if I may, this kind of also clears up the Gentiles too, right? A little bit, like absolutely. In the sense of showing how Israelites could be Gentiles.
Yeah, and they could be in the land, and how you fish out Israelites. Remember, and that one in John 1, when you go to John 1, this is the reason why he said that. Hold on, let me go to it. The reason why he said, let me pull it up real quick, and then we're gonna close out on that. I'm gonna go to John 1, and I'm gonna pull it up on the screen. I'm gonna start at 1 and I think we can start at 43. You see it?
I ain't come up just yet.
All right, hold on.
You said what was the scripture again now?
John 1:43. And look, the reason why I'm pulling this is because I'm showing you the mentality. Remember, there's other nations there. All right.
Right.
Other nations that's all around there. And Christ is going to the Israelites. He's going to the Jews. He's not going to other nations and fishing out other nations. He's fishing out the Jews. So this is why this was said. You got it?
Come.
All right, go ahead.
The day following Yahushua would go forth into Galilee, and findeth Philip, and saith unto him, Follow me. Now Philip was of Bethsaida, the city of Andrew and Peter. Philip findeth Nathanael, and saith unto him, We have found him, of whom Moses in the law and the prophets did write, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph. Let me read on.
Keep going.
And Nathanael said unto him, Can there any good thing come out of Nazareth? Philip saith unto him, Come and see. Yahushua saw Nathanael coming to him, and saith of him, Behold, an Israelite indeed.
A what?
An Israelite indeed.
That's why he said that, an Israelite indeed. Go ahead.
In whom is no guile.
In whom there's no guile. He's an Israelite indeed. This was not a heathen. This was not anything outside of Israel. Remember, he was going to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And let me say this. When y'all read now, the woman from Samaria that was at the well, you can pretty much understand now why she was saying what she was saying, not being an Israelite, saying our father Abraham and all of that. Now
Right.
you can understand
Right.
why Christ said, you know not what you worship. Salvation is of the Jews.
Okay.
That's why he said that. He was checking her because she wasn't of Israel. Why? Because in those regions and in those areas, the king of Assyria brought all types of nations in that land. All right.
Okay.
So that's it on that lesson, on that class. I hope that y'all got something out of it. I think that it's important now that when you read now, just try it. Whenever when you read about the Messiah and his actual walk, his actual path, his actual journey, look at the map. Maybe I'll do it next week. Look at the map. You'll really feel the impact of what he was saying and who he was talking to. All right. So I'm Officer 5000 Tasha Young. Go ahead, Lakarat.
I'm Officer 50 Lakarat.
And we'll be back next
And
week
this
with
is,
things that Christians say. I got you. We'll be back next week with things that Christians say. Next week, hopefully we'll have the boy Carlos on and we'll go over this and he can show us how Yahushua was rich. He was sitting on a ton of gold. All right, go ahead.
Right.
You got it. Anything
All
on
right.
that? No, you don't got to.
Nah, lie. I just wanted to say too. I think that kind of shows how brothers don't really understand. Even like if Christ's father, his real father wasn't a rich man. His real father didn't have riches at all. He was a worker. He was working.
Right.
And it just goes to show that they don't understand his human nature, like the book of Hebrews says.
Hey, yo, this boy Carlos told me.
That's all I got.
This boy Carlos told me that that Peter had a fishing company, and he was importing, exporting all this fish, hiring people and firing people and giving people days off and doing ledgers.
Where do they be getting this stuff from?
Man, I'm trying to tell you. You know, when you in a heated debate,
I'm just wondering where they be getting this stuff.
Well, I think when you in a heated debate and you got somebody in the corner like that, they'll just say anything. But wait till next week. He'll be on next week and he'll be saying it.
Yeah,
And we'll get a chance to Yeah, we'll get a chance to hear him say this, man. And it's, I kid you not, man. He's so serious. He's so serious about it, and he mean it. He means it. So
Man, they all do. They all believe they delusions.
all right. Shalom, Yahweh, Shem Yahweh Shabbarakatah to the brothers. Shalom, Shema, Thumba, Shem Yahweh Shah to the sisters. The Water Israel. See you next week.